We Russian-speaking Jews living in the greater Boston area are now first, second, and even third generation immigrants to our new home in America. We carry among us traditions that we have shared from generation to generation, including our shared Russian culture, our language, our focus on education, and our very strong family ties. We left the Soviet Union as Jews on a journey to freedom. Yet many of us remain disconnected from our Jewish traditions. Our Jewish identity roots have begun to grow again, led by our pride and belief in a strong state of Israel. We have bestowed much upon our youth, and with pride, we observe our youth embrace and explore their Jewish identities.
Now I want to ask you a specific question about RJCF, the Russian Jewish Community Foundation. How does this organization speak to you? And what could this organization do for you? And is there a place for an organization like RJCF for young adults?
Personally, for me, it's been the Children of Sderot that I've obviously been a part of, and that's how I became very aware of RJCF. And I think that's one of the main programs for me that helped me focus on my Jewish identity and all of that.
I guess it's just hard to really support Israel until you're there and you share an experience, especially with the children from Sderot. So I think trying to find any more opportunities like that would definitely help grow the Israeli advocacy among the youth here in Boston.
Дети, что это? Вот тут упал косом.
And that situation was, Qassam's falling every day, disrupting their childhood, disrupting their lives, disrupting their life, essentially. And the fact that I was given a chance to work with them and just try to give them the first free summer of their lives was incredible. After that experience, I knew that my kind of journey with them wasn't over. I knew it couldn't be over because my heart was just overflowing with love for these kids that I just met but knew I could do more for. I knew I wanted to do more than just spend 4 weeks with them. I wanted to do something else. So I started being, very active in the Russian Jewish community, working with the foundation, helping with charity work, fundraisers, seeing what else I could do. It was hard, but it was, once again, one of the most incredible experiences of my life because, yes, we're doing a lot for these kids year after year after all these camps, but they have no idea and will never in a million years know the effect that they have on us. These kids give me strength, they give me hope, because if they could overcome, and they're continuing to overcome this, post-traumatic stress disorder isn't something that you can just get rid of one day. They're still kind of getting there, and they're still suffering, but they're getting better because they have a chance and they have time to go to these camps to experience all these activities. But what I don't think will ever understand is how much of an effect they have on us, because we come to Israel for a few weeks at a time and just are engulfed in their charisma and their spirit. I'm happy because I got a chance to do something for others. I think the best thing in life is not to receive, but it's to give. And by giving our time, our love, our energy to these children, we do end up receiving something that is just, there's no words for it. There's no words for what they do for us, but giving back, I think, is so essential, and giving back makes me happy. Seeing these children makes me happy.
Now, practicing Judaism and observing Jewish holidays How does that factor into your lives at this point? And how important, whereas Israel is clearly very important to your identities?
And I think that sometimes, it can be hard to get across, but Judaism comes with so many cultural traditions and such a strong and long-lived heritage.
Whenever I go to Israel, my grandpa that lives there is very religious and goes to temple every day. And on Shabbat, he turns off all the electricity and he follows every single rule. So it's very interesting for me to go there and experience how Shabbat is truly done.
Celebrating the holidays and being religious, for me, it's a big part of my identity. And when I went to school up in McGill in Montreal, and even when no one was telling me to go anywhere or do anything, when the holidays came around, I would always go, and it wasn't really much of a question in my head. I just knew that I should, so I did.
I think it's absolutely very hard when you're juggling academics and sports or extracurriculars or whatever to make it to Hillel for holidays. But the couple of times this year when I made it to Hillel or Chabad for a Shabbat meal, I was incredibly happy that I did, even if it was after a long day or after an exam. You're coming home.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
I think it's great that we do a Shabbat dinner every Friday at Camp RSM. One, because we get to celebrate our culture even at summer camp, and two, because it's kind of just a chance for us to sit down as a big, happy, dysfunctional family and just have a nice meal on a Friday.
The best part is the fact that we get to be as a community, celebrating our culture as one big group and not just separately as the cabins are and the color teams are. And it's just a nice time to get together.
For me, the one is Jewish when his great-grandchildren are Jewish. So probably fear that my grandchildren will not be Jewish comes first, and therefore in anything I do, doesn't matter. It's my classroom, it's my camp, anything I do, I'm always Jewish and I'm always pro-Israel. So that's why my camp is Jewish and pro-Israel.
Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, hey.
How do you think your American friends, Jewish friends, feel about Israel versus how you feel about Israel? Do you think your connection is stronger?
I think our connection to Israel is stronger than, like on average, most American Jews that I've met. I think that it may have something to do with, the common Russian background and having lived in a country where you're not able to be Jewish, and then when you find that there is this place in the world where this is welcomed and this is, beloved, you really want to fight for that place.
We understand the privilege that Jews have to live freely somewhere, and knowing that, we understand that Israel is of course, the ultimate place where a Jew right now can live amongst his people.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I find American Jews are more often to disagree with what Israel does than Russian Jews, which is...
I'm not convinced that Russian Jews are better Jews or Russian Jews are more supportive of Israel. I know that in my community, the Russian Jews are very supportive of Israel.
The first thing that comes to mind when I hear the word Russian Jew is a strong people who lived in a anti-Semitic society and left everything and came here and grew and created a new life out of nothing. I am proud to be a Russian Jew.
When I hear the words Russian Jew, the first thing that comes in mind is that we all come together no matter where we are. We're Russian and we live all over the world, but we're still Jewish, so we still come together to support Israel. I am proud to be a Russian Jew.
When I think of the term Russian Jew, I think of my family, because my parents and my grandparents, they were living in the Soviet Union at the time of when it was really difficult for them to live. So like Holocaust era and afterwards. Like my great-grandfather, he served in the army during the Holocaust, and I just feel proud to be a Russian Jew and happy that we were able to escape, you know, communism.
I feel kind of like a connection with Israel because, like, even though I don't speak Hebrew or anything, I did spend 4 years in Hebrew school when I was younger, and I just feel like at home in the Jewish community. I feel like that Jewish people should have like a country to call their own.
Every day I'm proud to be a Russian Jew. I mean, being a Russian Jew and knowing that my parents left Russia and immigrated to Israel and then again to America to make a better life for me, I mean, means the world. The life I live today, I can read any book I want, I can practice what I want, I can speak how I want, and I'm not segregated against. That's what it means to be a Russian Jew here. So.
I care about Israel because that's where sort of my soul, if you will, is from. You know, all the values are sort of Israeli values or Jewish values, the way I was brought up. I'm really good at math, I'm really good at chess. I mean, that's pretty much all of Israel, right? So I'm very proud to be a Russian Jew.
I love the Russian Jewish community, especially in Boston, and I think it's so important because they're the people who come out always in support of Israel because they know what can happen when Jews live in places that are dangerous. And the Russian Jewish community is one of the best of all of us in knowing what a lie is and knowing how to fight it. So congratulations, Mazel Tov, keep fighting.